Go ahead, Coach.
Okay, I'm Doug English, head volleyball coach. This is Maddie Farrell, number 18, middle blocker from Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Yeah.
This is Kendra Bodine, outside hitter, number 9 from Eugene, Oregon.
All right, Coach, congrats on the win. What are your thoughts on today's win?
Yeah, my thoughts is that it couldn't have ended any other way. It's a battle with that team always. It's a tough matchup for us as they have really good people in places that just makes it really, really hard for us. So it was a tough matchup. It was gritty. It couldn't have ended more than 5, and we had some kids make some huge plays in set 5. Like Jack got a huge diving tip dig. Mari and Maddie had some huge stuff blocks at the end. I mean, things where we just had to do something a little bit extraordinary in order to get out of there with a win.
And then for you guys have obviously played them a couple times. What makes this one different?
Well, our season's still going, so that's good. I feel like that's like one of the biggest things is just I respect that team, I respect that program, and I think that, kind of like Doug was saying, I mean, in the past, even just this season, all of our matches have gone to 5. And I think just in past years, too, I mean, it's always a big battle. And I think that today we just came with kind of a sharp mindset. Like, we've been working hard the past couple of weeks, and just like last week alone, I think we've improved immensely. So I think that there's just a few factors that really went into just taking that to the next level today.
Yeah. I think our team did a really good job of relying on other people, not just the people we normally do. So we spread out our offense a lot, and a lot of people who maybe normally don't step up were able to step up in that game, and that helped us a lot.
You guys have a question?
Yeah.
Go, George.
What was it in the 5th game? Because it was going back and forth. What extra did you do, or where did you pull something out, or a rabbit from your hat, or something?
Yeah, I think we just had some, like I said, some really special plays there. We also didn't hit any balls out of bounds. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot a couple times through as far as hitting balls out of bounds and making some untimely errors, and then we had to work really hard to get back in sets. But in the 5th set, we played really clean volleyball. Like you said, and then we had some people make some really spectacular plays. Like, I mean, the 3 that stand out in my head are Jacqueline's diving dig really early on, whether the score, it's when we were before the side change, and then Mari's stuff block out of the timeout at the end, and then Maddie's stuff block out of the middle. Like those 3, like that kind of, I feel like those 3 plays are the ones that stick out to me the most in set 5, and those just kids making pretty darn good plays at pretty important times.
What was your plan, your idea coming into this?
Is this for me or
for you?
Yeah. So this is the only team that's a bad matchup for us. Central is a bad matchup for us. So we don't normally run a 6-2. Megan and Jess have the idea is we have to score a lot from the middle and a lot from the right side. That's what we were trying to do. And so by running the 6-2, it allowed us to do that. And like Kendra said, we relied on people that we haven't had to rely on all year, but work their butts off every day in practice to get better, so that when we need them in these situations, they're available and ready to play. I mean, Jess had double-digit kills, and our setters were phenomenal. I don't remember a match where we had 4 players with 10 kills this year. And so that for us is huge, just to score points. And I think like that was the game plan going in. It's something a little bit different because it's a tough matchup than what we normally do. And we needed some points from Jess and Cammie and everybody else, and they responded really well with that. And our setters did a great job of putting people in situations, and they learned as the game went on who's going to be in good situations and really kind of improved and put us in good spots.
Why is it a tough matchup? Is it just because you see each other?
I'm going to let Kendra speak to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're huge and we're not. We have like a really short team, honestly. Maddie's our biggest player by far, and she helps us a lot. But our team's pretty short. We're scrappy. We fight all we can, but they're huge, and that's really hard for us, especially when they're blocking us a lot. It gets us down, and when we can't block them back, it's really tough. So like Doug said, in the 5th set, when we had those 2 stuff blocks, like that just boosts our confidence tremendously.
Coach Daryl Trujillo, Inland Sports. 11-4 on the aces to service errors ratio.
Yeah.
That's quite a performance.
That's a record for us. Like our goal serving is to serve the ball in, and so that's really what it is. And so, but we've been one of the things that we do a lot of serve and pass that's competitive, and I think our serving has improved through that. And we try to go with our best in serve possible, make somebody move and serve to space. And the girls did a great job with that tonight. I mean, who had 5 aces? Haley Cook had 5 aces and no errors. And she's one of her and Mari are probably our 2 best setters or servers. And then Megan Nelson had three service aces. And so those two, those are points that we don't rely on as a group that we feel pretty grateful and lucky to have gotten for the most part, because that's not something that we really planned for. Like, I think we're a pretty conservative serving team.
Compare this match to the 2 regular season matches that were split.
Yeah.
What maybe went right for you on this night that didn't in the one you lost?
Yeah. Do you want to talk to that, Maddie?
Yeah,
We can all talk to that too.
Yeah, the first match against them this year, it's a while ago. But I think that we played hard, but a lot of things just didn't go our way. That's a match that you look back and you're like, oh, shoulda, woulda, coulda, that kind of a thing. So I think then the second match at home, I mean, we were fired up, and I think we started a little bit either too excited, and it just kind of, we got down by 2 right away. But I think that proved that we could rally back, and that was a really good thing to lean back on today, and to look back and realize, you know what, this team knows how to play us, we know how to play them. It's going to be back and forth like that 5th set, but it's going to who's to make those extra plays in like the right times and like to work and push forward. So I think looking back on those, I'm glad that we ended the second game of the win against them, because I really think it gave us some positive hope for today, and to realize that we can battle back and we can play hard against them.
Yeah, and with that, I think that the coaching change that we made, so in the second time that we played them, we actually changed to a 6-2 after we lost the first 2 games and ended up beating them the second 3, and I think that was like the most incredible coaching change I've ever seen. With that, it allowed our other hitters to get the ball down. Like, Mari and I were struggling at the outside. They're huge out there. We needed other people to put the ball down, and that really opened up our offense for us. So going into this game, knowing that we were running a 6-2, I had a lot of confidence in it, because I knew that other players would be able to step up. It just had to be their night.
And I would agree. I feel like it was just learning as we went through it changing to put our hitters in better spots and try to attack their weaker blockers. And I think that was probably the biggest change of us learning as we went through it. And I think you saw some of our growing pains at the beginning I think with Jess and Megan both kind of playing in a high pressure match, and this is the first time either one of us started a game, and so I think you see that, and then they got much better as the match went on. But I think that was the biggest thing, is we tried to take what we learned. It didn't work the first time, didn't work the first 2 sets. We needed to do something different, and we tried our 6-2 to put our hitters in better places, and it really worked well.
What is a 6-2?
Yeah, so normally what we run is we'll have one setter staying the whole time. So you have one setter in the front row, and so when you have a setter in the front row, then you have 2 hitters, and sometimes these 2 guys are really good. They get a lot of sets. People know the ball's going to them. And so by having a 6-2, we always have 3 hitters in the front row. And so always having somebody on the backside to be able to hit, and always having somebody to hit out of the middle of the court, to not have to rely on as much out of our outsides. The other thing we did less of this match and other matches, we set way less back row attacks. They haven't been very efficient for us, and so our setters and out-of-system people did a good job pushing it to the front row, and then we tried to get the ball on the setter to get something pretty easy back, and that kind of works. It worked okay. Not as good as we hoped, but okay. Yeah.
So this is kind of the great GNAC quarter is the way, or showcase is the way I'm kind of looking at the first few matches of this deal. Looking at the 2 teams that will await you tomorrow, who gave you the most fit during GNAC play, and who maybe do you want to see come out of that other match?
You guys want to start that? You want me to start that? I'll start it. Okay. They're both good teams, and we both split, so we don't have a preference for who we play. They play very different styles of volleyball. What you get with Western Washington is a team that's going to extend rallies. They play phenomenal defense, and they make little to 0 errors, and they turn into a very good blocking team. With Alaska Anchorage, you get one of the best serving team in the GNAC, and they get you out of system that way, and they have 2 of the best outside hitters in Leah Swiss and Crystalline Johnson, who on some nights can be unstoppable. So I don't know who we would prefer, because I think both of them are tough matchups for us at different things. Sometimes it's serving and sometimes it's blocking, and Western Washington's a really good serving team too. So I think either one, I don't think we would prefer either one. I think you have to attack them a little bit differently as we go through it, and I think hopefully we've learned from the last couple matches in order to figure out how to attack them maybe a little bit differently. But we know with Western we have to be really, really efficient and really clean. And with Anchorage, I think it's a lot more about our serve and pass, and then trying to be really good discipline blockers on the outside.
Yeah, I completely agree. With Western, they're just a very steady team. Like, you don't get a lot of here from them, and our team, we get a lot of this. We can be really great, and sometimes we can be really bad in the same match, same 3 span of points. So with Western, I think that's what's tough for us, is that they're always good. They just stay at a certain level. And with Anchorage, I think they're a lot like us, and they go up and down, and their up can be really great, and I think that's hard for us also.
Yeah.
So.
Coach, you lost the last 2 games of the regular season. Was that a question of trying other players, or?
No, it was a question of we weren't very good. And so we spent a lot of, there's a couple things. The Western Washington match was a huge match for us. That was, it was a league championship match, and we didn't perform the level, and we didn't respond very well to the pressure that they put on us. And so I think we learned a lot from that about how to handle pressure out here, and I think you saw that in the 5th set tonight. And then Simon Fraser's a tough match. It's a tough place to play. It was their senior night. There really wasn't a whole lot on the line for anything, and it's hard to do that, and we weren't good. And the girls did a great job. I mean, the nice thing about Postgame is you can kind of hit the reset button a little bit, and we had 6 practices, and we kind of got back to what we were doing at the beginning of the year, and I think this is a testament to their work, and we worked on our offense a lot, and that was something that we needed to get better at, and we killed a ton of balls tonight, which I think was a huge part, and a part of it was just kind of get back to where we were, which, in some ways it freed us up to say, hey, we're not good enough right now, and make some changes.
You also, in the 3rd and the 4th set, you were down, I think, by something like 4 points in each one. What was, and I guess players can ask, what turned around, or what did you just change up, or what was the difference?
Yeah, I think heading into this match, we talked in the locker room, and we just talked a big thing lately about sticking together, and I think that's kind of one of the biggest things that we've been kind of a roller coaster about. And volleyball is a big mental game more than physical. I think people misunderstand that a little bit, but when you're out in the court and you are down by 1 or 2, the game can change momentum at any time. So I think for us it was just making sure we weren't inside of our heads, we weren't pulling apart, and just sticking together. And the bench, every single person on this team today showed that they can play a part in this win, and they did. And I think that was one of the biggest things. It's just when you do kind of go through those ruts in those games, you have to be able to stay mentally strong and stick together, and positive reinforcement. I think that's the biggest thing. And yeah, so we just knew that we had to stick to our game plan. We had a good scouting report, and just had to trust and believe that we could do it.
I know some reasons why it's a mental game, but why do you say, the mental part maybe is as important as the physical?
Yeah, so, I'm only in for half the time. Running in and out, you just kind of, that's my own personal position, but people that are on the court at all times, I feel like because volleyball you can ride such a wave, it's such a back and forth game, and it's a fast-paced game, I think that you have to have a short memory, because if you dwell on past mistakes and you focus on things that you maybe didn't do as well, you're not going to get any better, and I think you're going to hold yourself back. So I think that's been a big thing personally this year, is just working through the small stuff and just knowing and trusting in our practice plans, and knowing that we can implement that in the game and do it well.
All right, congrats guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Did you have another